In today's video, I have to survive 100 days as a copper golem. And also, I have 3 objectives. First, get myself a set of fully enchanted copper armor. Second, build myself a giant copper statue. And finally, defeat the Ender Dragon. Can I survive these 100 days as a copper golem in hardcore Minecraft? Keep watching and find out. So here we go, our journey begins on day 1, and the first thing I did is I turned around and I could see I was at this village. Very nice. So I happily travelled over there and went to go and say hello to some of the nearby villagers. But then, I also noticed that there was this iron golem. So I said hello to the iron golem, and yeah, me and the iron golem was very good friends. Anyways, I found this nearby house and I could see that there was this chest. And as I opened up this chest, I could see there was some emeralds, some potatoes, some bread, some apples, and of course a sapling. Very nice. I'll be sure to take this. Anyways, I gathered up some birch wood and made some sticks and a crafting table, and then decided to make myself a wooden pickaxe. I'm going to be needing this to get myself some stone later. Hey, also I noticed that there was some wheat here. I would need this for bread. Alright, that should be plenty of wheat. Anyways, after a little bit of wandering around, I stumbled across this cave and I could see there was a few creepers, so I had to be kind of careful. Anyways, I decided to go and gather up some stone. I'm going to be needing this. Alright, 16 pieces of stone should be enough. So I headed deeper into the caves, finding myself some iron, and I'm going to be needing this iron to get myself some iron armor. So I collected all the iron that I could in this cave. Anyways, I left the caves and decided to use some of that iron that I collected. I decided to make a shield and also an iron chestplate and an iron axe. I'm going to be needing this stuff. Anyways, I wandered around a little bit and stumbled across this second cave, and then I could see there was some copper. This was great. I'll need this copper to make my spyglass, and then I could see there was some movement in the trees. So I went to go and investigate and I couldn't believe my very own eyes. There it was, a pillager outpost. But in seconds I was swarmed by all these pillagers. I didn't know what to do, I panicked, and I have to say, these pillagers did some serious damage. I had to get out of here quick, so I sprinted for my life. As I ran back to the outpost, I could see this iron golem was trapped, and I needed to save him. So I set him free. But shortly after that, the pillagers caught up with me, and they started to do some more damage. This was not good. There was no way I was going to be able to take these guys on. I had to leave it. I had to get out of here. So I did. Phew, that was pretty close. Anyways, I headed back to the village and decided here looks like a perfect spot to build my very own base. So I placed in my furnace, crafting table, and also some chests. Very nice. But before we build our base, I would need loads of materials, so I headed to the forest, get myself loads of wood, and then head into the caves, get myself loads of stone. And then finally, I started construction on my very own home. Here it is. It looks pretty good if I do say so myself. As you can see, I added a lot of detail around, like some leaves, some hay bales, some cobblestone stairs, and of course some lanterns. Look pretty good. And if we enter the house, you can see I've got a bed right here and also a lantern, but I also decided to make a bit of a basement as well, so I can store my crafting table and also a furnace and some extra storage as well. Looks pretty good if I do say so myself. I also noticed that my copper has smelted up, so I decided why not make some copper tools. So that's what I did. Also had a little bit of copper left over, so I thought why not make some armor as well. But sadly, I didn't quite have enough armor to make a chest plate, but for the most part we're good. We got a helmet, leggings, and also some boots, and of course some copper tools. Very nice. Yes, I also noticed that there was this wandering trader nearby, so I went to go and see what trades he traded, but yeah, no good really. So I left him alone and found some sugarcane. I would need this to make some swiftness potions later. But even better, I found this chest, and I could see there was this golden apple. Very nice. On day 8, I stumbled across this village, so I happily travelled over there and found this stonecutter. Yeah, the villager wasn't happy with me. Anyways, I continued to go around the village and found some other things, like this brewing stand, and also some hay bales and a bunch of crops. I could see there was a few beetroot seeds here, which was quite nice, and of course some carrots. Very nice. But then, I noticed that there were some bookshelves, and I would need these for my enchantment table, so I'm sure the villagers won't mind if I take a few. Yes, I also stumbled across a desert temple. So I entered this desert temple, finding some TNT of course, and then some emeralds and some gunpowder as well. Very nice. So I happily collected up that and travelled back home. As I arrived home, I could see there was a bunch of cows and pigs around. This was a perfect opportunity to make myself a farm, so I did. And to round up the day, I decided to go and collect myself a few cows and pigs, and then I took them to their very own new home. And on day 10, here it is. Looks pretty good if I do say so myself. But we had a problem. There was one thing we was missing. We needed a potato farm. So I spent the rest of day 10 making myself a potato farm. Placed in a few potatoes and there it is. Our potato farm is pretty much done. And here it is. Looks pretty good. We got our potato farm and also decided to make a bit of a carrot farm as well. Very nice. I think it's now time we go on a mining trip. So I made some pickaxes and headed to the caves. Finding this mine shaft was just quite nice. So I went around the mine shaft and I couldn't believe it. There it was, some diamonds. So I happily collected up these diamonds, but then I found this minecart and I could see there was some melon seeds, some gold and also a bit of iron, which was quite nice. Anyways, I gathered up a bit of copper that was nearby, and surprisingly, I was able to find myself loads more diamonds. This was great, so I decided to make a diamond pickaxe so I can get myself some obsidian. 15 pieces? Yeah, that should be enough. Anyways, I headed around the caves and found some emeralds. This was great. I could use these emeralds to trade with some of the villagers. But even better, I couldn't believe it. Some amethyst crystals, just what I was looking for. So I happily gathered up some crystals, and there it was. We can now make our spyglass. On day 16, I decided to make a spyglass, and of course I wanted to see if it worked. And surprisingly, it did. Very nice. But that wasn't all. Oh no, I also wanted to get myself some pumpkins, and you might be asking, why do I need pumpkins? And the thing is, I wanted to make some copper golems. So I did. On day 17, I made some copper golems, and I could see they was very happy. We now have some friends. Very nice. Well, I think it's now time we make the Nether portal. So I cleared out a bit of space, removing all the blocks that are in the way, and then decorated it up a little bit, making it look pretty nice. Used some stone bricks and also some spruce wood. Looks pretty good. But there was only one last thing to do. Make the Nether portal, of course. So I placed in all the obsidian, and there it was. The Nether portal. So I lit it up and decided to head through, and as I got through to the other side, I couldn't believe my very own eyes. There it was. But before I headed over there, I want to get myself some bones. I'm going to be needing these bones for my potato farm. So I arrived at the fortress and I could see there was this blaze. Luckily, I was able to take him down just in time. But there was also a couple more blazes, so I took down them as well, getting myself a few more blaze rods in the process. But you wouldn't believe it. I found some chests and I could see they contained diamonds. But even better, as I looked to my left, I couldn't believe it. Some nether warts. Just what I was looking for. So I happily gathered up this nether warts, but as I left the fortress, I was ambushed by some wither skeletons. But luckily I was able to take them down, and this one here dropped a wither head. Wow. Anyways, I continued to go around the nether, and I found myself some quartz and of course some glowstone, which was quite nice. But then I could see there was this bastion. This was great. Well, that was pretty close. Anyways, I headed over to the bastion and I found this chest, and I could see there was this diamond pickaxe with mending on it. Wow, very nice. Anyways, I headed down into the treasure room, gathered up a bunch of gold, found some more chests with some extremely good loot, like all these diamonds. But the second chest had even better loot, like this diamond helmet and also a netherite ingot. Wow, there it is. Well then, that was a nice little trip in the nether. I think it's time to go home. Anyways, I arrived home and now wanted to do a bit of farming, so I used some of that bone meal that I found from the nether and harvest up all my potatoes, getting myself loads of potatoes. But there was no time to waste, so I wanted to make a potion station, so I did. I used some crimson wood that I found in the nether and also some black stone and some nether bricks as well. But I couldn't make potions without nether wart, so I also built a nether wart farm as well, which actually looks okay. And then also I placed in a chest, and then of course the brewing stand and some water. Very nice. But I was missing one thing. I kind of needed a melon farm, so I made myself one. Anyways, the next day I made some health 2 potions, and also some strength potions, and of course, some swiftness potions. You never know when I might need these. Ah yes, I now wanted to head back to the caves to get myself some more obsidian. You might be asking, why do I need this obsidian? And the thing is, I wanted to make myself the enchantment table. So I did. And there it was, the enchantment table. But of course, this enchantment table needed a place to go. So I spent a couple days constructing this building, which actually looks pretty good. Anyways, it's time to place in the enchantment table. And there it is. Wow. And of course I wanted to see what enchants I could get, but sadly there wasn't really anything good. I'll need some bookshelves to make this better. So I headed back to the Nether, get myself some more blaze rods, because I kind of needed some more of these. And then I decided to go to the warped forest and get myself some ender pearls. And that should do it. It's time to head home. So I arrived home and made some eyes of ender, and there's only one more thing to do. Find the stronghold. So I threw my eye of ender, and surprisingly by the next day, there it was, the stronghold. And after a bit of searching, there it was, the library. Hey, also I noticed that there was this chest, and I could see it had some nice enchanted books. I'll be sure to take these. Anyways, I gathered up a few books, and then went home and made some bookshelves. And there it is, we have some bookshelves. All I have to do now is travel back to my enchantment room and place them in. So that's what I did. And there it is, our enchantment table room is pretty much done. Looks pretty cool if I do say so myself. And it is now time to do some enchanting. So I enchanted my pickaxe, get myself fortune 3 and efficiency 4. Enchanted a second pickaxe, get myself unbreaking 3 and efficiency 4 once again. So I combined those pickaxes together to make the ultimate pickaxe. And to finish it off, I turned it into netherite. Well, I kind of wanted to do a bit more enchanting, but I kind of wanted to make a full set of diamond armor first. So I headed back to the caves, get myself loads more diamonds. As I was making a way through the caves, I stumbled across what seems to be a mob spawner. I was quite right, it was a mob spawner. And there was this chest which had a golden apple in it. And luckily I was able to find myself a few more diamonds, which is quite nice. And that should do it. That should be plenty of diamonds. It's time to go home and make my full set of diamond armor. So that's what I did. I headed back home, made a full set of diamond armor like leggings, chest plate, helmet and boots. And of course I couldn't forget about tools as well. Very nice. As you can see, we have all our diamond armor and tools, but sadly we do not have enough levels. So I headed back to the Nether once again and got myself loads and loads more levels. Alright, that should do it. 46 levels should be plenty of levels. So I rushed back home as quick as I could and went to go and enchant all my armor. And I have to say, I got myself some pretty good stuff, like protection 3 on pretty much everything. But then, I was able to get myself sharpness 4 on my diamond sword. I couldn't believe this. This was incredible. Anyways, the next day I enchanted my axe and also a bow as well. I might need these. And there it is. We now got a fully enchanted set of diamond tools and armor. Wow. I was a very happy copper golem. Yes, I kind of wanted to now work on a bit of a project. I kind of wanted to make a bit of an armory room. So I gathered all the materials I needed and then started construction on my build. Decided to use some white concrete and also some birch wood, which actually went quite well with this build. Placed in a few armor stands, and there it is. Looks pretty good if I have to say so myself. And you might also tell that I've made a new set of copper armor and also some iron armor. So I decided to place this armor that I made on these armor stands. Very nice. Okay, we have a bit of a problem. As you can see, we got these villagers stuck in this pig pen. Oh dear. So I thought, why not build the villagers their very own home? As I was doing that, I was interrupted by this wandering trader, and I thought, why not go and see what trades he traded? And to my surprise, he traded some moss blocks, and I was looking for these moss blocks, so I got myself some. Anyways, I finished up on the villager farm, made them a bit of a farm area right here, and then I transferred the villagers across. Anyways, I placed down this lecture, and I could see this villager traded a mending book. I could not believe my very own eyes. Wow, this was incredible. So I did a bit of trading for a couple days with the villagers to get myself loads and loads more emeralds. And then decided to purchase 6 mending books. And you might be asking, why do I need 6 mending books? And the thing is, I kind of wanted to make another set of armor. So I thought, why not use my copper armor? So I enchanted the copper armor, get myself some pretty good stuff. And then I added mending to all the armor pieces. And just like that, we have a second set of armor. Wow, this is great. Also had 2 mending books left over, so I thought, why not add one to my sword and also my shovel as well. But the next day, as I was trading with some of the villagers, I could see there was this Woodland mansion map. I think it's time we go and find this Woodland mansion. So I headed out. And then, after days and days of searching, there it was, the Woodland Mansion. Wow. So I entered the Woodland mansion and started searching, and I could see there was some vindicators. But then I was spotted by this vindicator. I sprinted and I knew I had to take down these vindicators as soon as possible. So I used my bow best that I could. Luckily, I was able to take down these vindicators. Whoa. And I have to say, that was pretty close. But then, as I was searching around, I ran straight into the evoker. This low-key did scare me, but I was okay. I got myself together and I went back for round 2, taking down this evoker. And there it was, a totem of undying. Wow, there it is. Anyways, I continued to go around the mansion and take down some more vindicators. So I searched the entire mansion, but I couldn't find anything else. There was no more evokers here. I suppose that was the only one. But there was this giant chicken. Anyways, I left the mansion and decided to now head back home. Ah yes, it's nice to be back home finally. I think it's now time we make our very own copper golem. Here looks perfect, but first I would need loads and loads of copper. So I headed to the caves, getting myself loads and loads of copper. So I headed back to base, smelted up all that copper that I collected, and then I patiently waited for it all to be smelted up, and then I started construction on this copper golem. And there it is. Wow, it looks incredible. I'm super happy with this build. I think it looks amazing. But that is not all. Oh no, I also noticed that I've changed as well. As I had a good look at myself, I could see I've changed to this bluey greeny colour. Wow, this is pretty cool. Well, I think it's now time we go on a bit of an adventure. So I headed across the seas finding this shipwreck. As I entered the shipwreck, I could see there was this treasure map. And it's time to go and find ourselves some treasure. So I started digging around, and after a bit of digging, there it was, the buried treasure. So I opened up this treasure chest, finding myself some iron, some gold, some emeralds, and of course the heart of sea. Anyways, our journey continues on land, and I found a desert temple. This desert temple was a little bit different. There was no TNT here. Oh no. So I left the desert temple and found a village. And I could see there was some melons around and also some hay bales. And I would need these hay bales for bread. So I made sure to gather up all the hay bales that I could. Hey, I also stumbled across a ice spikes biome, which is pretty nice, so I happily travelled over there, and I kind of wanted to get myself some ice spikes, but I didn't have a silk touch pickaxe, but I did have a silk touch axe, so I collected myself 2 bits of ice. Very nice. Ah yes, I also stumbled across this flower biome, and I could see there were some bees' nests. So I thought, why not take some of these bees' nests? So maybe in the future I can make a bee farm. Hey, a Badlands biome. Very nice. So I happily travelled over there, got myself some red sand and also some terracotta. But surprisingly, I also found this mine shaft, which there was some gold and also this minecart chest, which had some diamonds in it. Wow. But even better, I stumbled across what seems to be a jungle. It was. So I happily travelled over there and got myself some cocoa beans, and then I could see there was some pandas. This was great. So I said hello to the pandas and also gave them some bamboo, and I could see there was very happy pandas. Wow. And also I gathered myself some bamboo and also some jungle wood. I might be needing this. Found this nearby ravine, and I could see there was loads and loads of copper here. This was great, so I happily gathered up some copper. I mean, I am a copper golem after all. And I have to say, this was a nice little trip. I think it's now time we go back home. We finally arrived back home. Very nice, but there was no time to waste. Oh no, I wanted to make a bit of a garden. I kind of wanted to make a bit of a place so I could grow myself some cocoa beans and of course some bamboo as well. So I decorated the area up a little bit, adding a bunch of leaves around and also some moss blocks, which actually went quite well. And then I planted in some cocoa beans and of course some bamboo. Looks pretty good. And there it is. Wow, this place looks pretty cool, with all the melons and leaves, and of course some moss blocks around. Really look nice. Well, I think it's now time we start preparing for the end fight. So I went back to Nether getting myself some more blaze rods. I needed loads of these. But of course I also would need some ender pearls. So I headed back to the warped forest and got myself loads more ender pearls. And that should do it. That should be plenty of ender pearls. It's time to travel back home. So I get home, make some more eyes of ender, and I also wanted to enchant these bows that I had, so I could make myself a really OP bow. Also did a bit of trading with some of the villagers to get myself a few apples, so I could make myself some golden apples. And finally, I also wanted to make myself some more health potions, and of course some strength 2 potions. I think we're now ready. It is now time. It is now time to go and take down the Ender Dragon. So I gathered everything I needed from my chest, all the stuff I would need for this fight. And then I headed to the stronghold, and there it was, the End Portal. Wow. So I placed in all the Eyes of Ender, and the portal opened. Wow. This is it. So I jumped through, and there she was, the Ender Dragon. And I could tell the Ender Dragon was not happy. Oh no, I knew what I had to do. I had to take down the end crystals as soon as possible. So I did. And finally, there it is. I took down the final end crystal. This really upset the Ender Dragon. I could do this. It is now time to take down this Ender Dragon. This is it. It is now time to end this fight once and for all. So I had my final strength potion, and I waited for the right opportunity, and I struck, taking down the Ender Dragon. And there it is. Wow, we did it. Wow, there it is. We did it. So I happily gathered up all the XP that was here, and of course, the Ender Egg. I was not going to be leaving this behind. Wow, we finally did it. It is now time to go back home. So I finally arrived home, and I now wanted to make a bit of a place for the Ender Egg to go. So I did. And then finally, on day 100, I placed in the Ender Egg. And there it is. Wow, we did it. We finally survived 100 days as a copper golem in hardcore Minecraft. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.